Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, Marwano, Marwano. It's dangerous to go alone, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society goes with ya. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I'm joined, as I'm always joined, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. We've got a good show for you today. We're going to be talking about the news from the week, including how Nintendo is celebrating MAR10, MAR10 Day. And then on Thursday, we are sharing our favorite memories of 6 years with the Nintendo Switch, something we're calling six for Switch, a play on 80 for Brady, I think. I don't think Mark agreed to that. But Mark, in the meantime, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I don't disagree with it.
I gotta say, so we are recording at your place right now. And this is the first time I ever felt odd saying that I was joined by you at your house. I've said it probably 100 times while sitting at your dining room table, and for whatever reason, it felt like a violation just now.
Oh yeah, well I have not thought about it until just this moment, and now I'm furious.
Oh no!
And not only am I furious for tonight, but I'm furious. I'm like back furious. You know, I'm like back ordered.
Furious.
Yes, that's retroactive. That's the word I'm looking for. But yeah, I'm furious now.
Oh,
Grr.
What can I do to make it up to you, Mark?
Nothing.
All right, good. Then I shan't change a thing. Mark, we have launched a Patreon, as I'm sure people have heard us talk about here at the top of episodes here. But we just released a new bonus episode on the Patreon feed where the episodes that we're putting out there are called NCS Detective Club. They are you and I exploring some of the great detective stories on television. We talked about Murder, She Wrote. We talked about Monk. And we just released an episode where we talked about
Diagnosis Murder,
starring Dick Van Dyke and Scott Baio in one of these episodes. We had a great conversation talking about it, like an illuminating experience with Diagnosis Murder, which, Mark, you continue to watch.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I'd never watched Diagnosis Murder before.
Yes.
And now I'm kind of hooked.
You're a fan now.
I kind of love it. The show is totally insane.
Right.
Completely varies in quality from episode to episode. The way that they get the hospital like as part of the episodes also totally insane. I just watched one where like there's a sound lab in the hospital.
What do you mean?
So they go into this room, and it's like a character actor that you would absolutely recognize who is like smoking this cigar, and again in a hospital, smoking a cigar, and has this giant supercomputer.
Also, the show started in 1991, so it's still very strange that he was smoking in a hospital.
Yeah, so this giant supercomputer, and they have this recording of a killer or something on tape, and so he's like, oh, I guess they use this supercomputer to check babies' hearings after they're born.
Sure.
But then also to isolate the background noise.
You need an extremely powerful computer to test whether a baby is hearing or not.
It's totally insane. But yeah, I'm completely digging Diagnosis Murder.
So if you would like to hear us talk about Diagnosis Murder more, you have that option. All you got to do is subscribe at our Patreon, patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society. And there are other rewards for people who are supporting us there as well.
But you should also join our Discord.
Join the Discord.
This is open to everybody. You don't have to be a member of the Patreon to join. And we would love you to get in there and talk Nintendo with us. We have a great group that, anytime that there's a Nintendo Direct, people, we're there to talk about it. If you want to connect with somebody to play Splatoon, that's going on as well. It's a really great time.
Yep, but you need to be invited. Email us, nintendocartridgesociety@gmail.com, and we will send you that invitation. All you got to do is ask, and we'll send it right to you, and you can join in on the fun. All right, Mark, let's get into what we've been playing this week. All right, so Tetris 99 ticket update.
Dun, 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 dun.
633 tickets.
I can't believe I almost forgot.
There was a moment here where it wasn't happening yet, and I was like, "Oh no, do I have to sing it?" Yeah, 633. I have not made as much progress this week. On Thursday, I spent most of the day at a hospital, and was like, "I'll bring my Switch. I'll just play Switch games all day while I wait." And here's the thing: can't play Tetris 99 without an internet connection.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have one of those at the hospital. So I didn't play Tetris 99. I also, Mark, didn't have any of my game carts with me.
And you just recently got like a new Switch.
Yes.
And so you don't. But did you download like?
I downloaded not all, some of the digital games.
Oh, okay.
But the point is, and I still had Ring Fit Adventure in there from like the morning before, so I didn't have Fire Emblem with me. It ended up being like a total bust, and I thought I was gonna play video games all day, and I just didn't.
Oh man, yeah.
So total bust there.
Good thing you got Snake Pass downloaded though, right?
Good thing I had Snake Pass downloaded, so I could really like get in there and master those levels. I mean, that's a callback to like our 7th or 8th episode.
Yeah.
Where we reviewed Snake Pass. Mark, what have you been playing this week?
I kind of had like a restless gaming week. So previously last week I finished Metroid Prime Remastered. Really loved it. This past week Nintendo announced that Metroid Fusion is going to be on the Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack soon. And so I am really in a Metroid mood, and so I'm really excited for Fusion to come out, but I couldn't really find anything else that I felt really interested in playing. So I kind of dabbled a lot this week.
Yeah.
I downloaded the Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope demo that was just released and tried to check that out for the first time. And it seems good. It seems fine, but it's more Mario plus Rabbids, but for whatever reason, it just wasn't
hooking you.
Yeah, it wasn't hooking me. So then I tried Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, which again, I don't know. I just was not feeling it. Although
not feeling it.
Yeah, my husband was watching me play a little bit of it, and he was delighted at how cute Kirby is.
Yeah.
And Kirby.
QB is from Box Boy.
Yeah. Like Kirby
right.
is completely adorable. And I don't know, I've never played the original Return to Dreamland on
No
Wii,
one has.
And so I don't have any idea if the animations are the same, but the animations for Kirby in this game are really good.
Yeah.
He can inhale extra large blocks and stuff if you hold down the inhale button long enough. And when he does, he gets really chubby.
Oh, I love
his
that.
walk animation is really cute.
Oh no.
So yeah, so all of that stuff, great. But the gameplay itself just didn't grab me. So then I moved on to Alone in the Dark.
Well, wait, hold on. So your husband is watching you play.
Yeah.
And at no point are you like, here, play this with me?
No. I did.
You did. Okay.
I was like, do you want to play? And he doesn't really have any interest in video games, except
right.
This week he downloaded SimCity on his phone.
Yeah.
And he's completely addicted.
Right.
I woke up at 3 a.m. and he was on his phone playing SimCity.
Right. Okay, good.
And he was showing me some of the ads that come up because he didn't pay for it.
Right.
And they're all they're so awful. It's hi, I'm so imagine a video of Clash of Clans.
Yeah,
or
sure.
A Clash of Clans game playing. And then there's video almost like she's a streamer of a woman, and it's hi, my name is Monica. I was going through my stepson's phone and I found this game and I really think you'll like it. Just really dire stuff.
Yeah, really, really dire stuff. I love it. I love it when targeted ads are so off, where it's just this kind of thing doesn't appeal to me at
right,
all.
Yeah.
Where it's Big Brother doesn't know anything.
No. You realize the algorithms are not that smart, but because as people who watch Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune,
okay,
all those commercials assume that you are a card-carrying member of the AARP.
Right. And am I interested in Cologuard? Maybe I'll need to poop in a box at some point. Like that makes sense to me.
But all of this is to say that I did ask him if he wanted to play Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe,
Right.
and he had no interest.
So, very funny that he's playing the free version instead of just buying it. Sarah's got a handful of games that she plays that she's also just like playing the free version on her phone, and I'm like, why don't you buy that? What you have to like like an ad starts and you close the app and then you like start it back up. Why don't you just, because you've done it thousands of times, why don't you just pay the $3 and never see that ad again? And she's like, I don't want to. It's like, you have $3. I'm about to spend 20 times that much on a Kirby game I'm going to play for an hour and a half.
Right, yeah. Yep. So Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, just not for whatever reason, I'm just like not connecting with it. Like I
Can
genuinely
we play a little after this?
Sure, yeah. In fact, I think it might be more fun in co-op, but
Everything is.
yeah, that's true. So I then tried Alone in the Dark, that was part of like the Game Boy Color release for Nintendo Switch Online, and I was playing on the TV, which was an enormous mistake. Because I think there are Game Boy games that would look fine on like a big screen TV, like Tetris probably looks fine, but Alone in the Dark is not one of those games.
Well, because Alone in the Dark is trying to, in its obviously limited way, like recreate photo realism, right? Like it's obviously it knows it's going to fall short of that, but it's trying to look like the thing it's looking like.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Whereas Tetris, these are blocks that like they're 8-bit in their inception. Just like Mario makes perfect sense that way too. But how was Alone in the Dark?
So I didn't play that much, only because it was kind of like a blurry mess.
Yeah.
But I'm determined to finish it because I'm kind of like fascinated by that game. And I don't think it's that long. But finally, kind of what I settled on is this.
Well, hold on, wait, because I just, as long as we're talking about the NSO Game Boy / Game Boy Advance, I spend quite a bit of time playing the WarioWare Mega Micro Games Incorporated, the GBA, the original WarioWare, and it is just staggering to me how much of the DNA of that series is present in the original game. Like it's all set up in the exact same way. A lot of the games that I have played in either the Get It Together version or WarioWare Gold, like can trace their origins right back to this initial game. It's just very cool to see the sort of like original issue of them. But one of the things that really struck me, there's like little stories that go along with each one. And there's the cab driving game, and I just want to tell you like the story of it because it was so charming. You pick up like a kid, like a little boy, and he's like you're driving him to the ocean. You get to the ocean, turns out he's a mermaid, and he jumps in the water and swims away.
That is cute.
Mm-hmm.
So what I actually finally settled on was Splatoon 3 was doing its Big Run event today, where Salmon Run
This weekend.
This weekend, where Salmon Run takes over just like a regular turf war turf war match stage. And it was Inkblot Art Academy, and this is the second Big Run that Splatoon 3 has done. The last one they did was on Wahoo World, which was, in my opinion, a much easier stage to play on, just because there was more it felt like there was more area.
Oh,
whereas like
interesting.
Inkblot Art Academy, and maybe it's because like it felt like I always got high tide, but it felt really difficult. But I was watching some videos of people playing, and they got like the like it would be, they're just, depending on what level you're playing at, there are just so many salmonid bosses like out there at one time. And it seems like at higher levels, like I never got it. I was trying to remember what level I am in the game. Maybe overachiever is where I was at, and so I think they try to like balance it based on what level you are. But you know the version of Salmon Run where like the giant grills are after you?
Yes.
Like on this stage, that would just be totally impossible. And
because there's just no room to get away from them.
There's just no room to like there's nowhere to go. But Big Run, I think I had more fun with it this time than I did previously. There's also that new boss, or that new like giant salmonid or whatever they're called.
Oh yeah.
The like Ouroboros, which is basically
Yeah.
this giant like sky dragon snake thing that has an enormous bomb in its mouth that will sometimes like shoot out at you. That thing was really cool and a lot of fun. So yeah, like a big run is kind of what I settled into while I'm just kind of like waiting for Metroid Fusion.
Does it bother you at all that like Big Run is the new Salmon Run in that it is a fun mode that you like to play that isn't available all the time?
It really what it just made me wish is that Salmon Run had more stages.
Sure. Yeah.
Or that they like changed more frequently because yeah, like Big Run was fun, but it doesn't, to me anyways, probably because I'm not like good enough that I'm really challenging the like top level, because you get different rewards for participating in Big Run and how many eggs you collect. And some people in our Discord were getting over like 100, and I never, the groups I was playing in never got over like high 60s.
Okay.
And so that competitive aspect of it like isn't really part of my experience, so it doesn't feel that different from regular Salmon Run, except the stages are new, and it just made me wish
and that variety is kind of
yeah, it
enough
just makes
to,
me
yeah.
wish that they introduced stages, or that there were more stages in Salmon Run.
Yeah. Mark, I continue to play Fire Emblem Engage. I went on Video Games, a comedy show, this weekend to talk about it. So if you want to check out a conversation between me and Jeremy Schmidt and Connor McCabe about Fire Emblem Engage, you can check that out there. We're all playing it basically the same way in that we all bought the DLC right away. And as soon as like the new waves are launched, we like go right to those paralogs and pick up those new emblems and play them. Talking about the game for an hour and a half with these guys just got me like re-energized to like dig in and play it more. I think I'm about halfway through the game now. I just made my way all the way around the continent to the fourth of the like four countries that surround the sort of like center island, and that's like the desert queendom of Solm. And it's like the first time, certainly in the game, and basically the first time in Fire Emblem that I can remember that I'm experiencing encountering characters of color in the game, and they're so look. You and I complained about the characters that you meet right away in the game, right? There's like a duo of kids who are like basically worship your character, and then like an older dude who also like guards your main character, and that dude's a narc. I don't trust him. But so like it starts off with like kind of weak characters, and then they get a little bit stronger, and then when we loop all the way around over to Solm, and there are characters that have like a stronger identity or whatever it is, they're so much more fun than everyone else I've met. And I just like I'm to a place now where I can acknowledge that there are like some crappy characters early on, and like some of the story isn't whatever. But I'm just all in now. Like any criticisms I had of the game earlier, I am disregarding. I just love the game.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, there's some new DLC coming out for it this week, or one of the third wave comes out today, I believe, as this episode releases, and I'm very excited to keep going in the story and loop back around and grab those emblems that are going to be new to the game. I really am just having the best time with it. All right, Mark, that's what we've been playing this week. Let's get into the new releases and what we might be playing next week.
Like you mentioned, today, Tuesday, March 7th, Fire Emblem Engage Expansion Pass Wave 3 is released with Chrom and Robin, who are the Emblem of Bonds, and Veronica, the Emblem of Heroes.
So I love this. First of all, that Chrom and Robin form a single emblem. I think is cool. That's the sort of the same way the Three Houses characters, they're all in one bracelet. So I think that's cool. I like have being able to access both characters in one thing. But also, and I love those characters because they're from Fire Emblem Awakening, which is my favorite game in the series. So I'm very excited for that one. But the Veronica from Fire Emblem Heroes is the Emblem of Heroes. She's from the mobile game. So like I know I've used that character in that little bit that we were playing Fire Emblem Heroes. But she's not a character that I know particularly well. So it'll just be cool to like spend some more time with her and like be exposed to an element of the Fire Emblem canon that is sort of just like sectioned off in its own thing, right? Like, we see the other heroes in like as Smash spirits and trophies and stuff like that. Assist trophies. But Veronica is like new enough, but sort of in this like splinter timeline. It'll just be cool to be exposed to her a little bit.
And then on Thursday, March 9th, Metroid Fusion is released for the Game Boy Advance on Nintendo Switch Online.
Which you mentioned this earlier, but let's just talk about Fusion for a little bit. Fusion is a great Metroid game. It's a little bit more like handholdy and linear than the rest of the 2D Metroid games, but its environment is so strange, and the things that you come up against are like so specific and cool, and the sort of like direction that it leads the story is also like very interesting, with like this AI who's like taking on the persona of what's the dude's name? General. Nope. The dude, you got a problem with that?
Adam?
Adam. That's right. Yes, exactly. So it's very cool that this game is coming out, and that it's out so close to Metroid Prime Remastered, which those games originally released on the same day. So I wish they had found a way to pull it off.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
To do the remaster and the Metro, like they were so close too, right? Because the GBA library did launch that day. It just wasn't among the launch games. But that to me says that they're like intentionally putting like two different Metroid beats out here, right? Like that we got one beat, and then about a month later, like another one. I think they are riding a like Metroid hype.
It does
thing.
feel like there's a lot.
It's in the air.
Metroid. Yeah, I totally agree. Do you think it is possible that Metroid Prime 4 releases later this year?
Ooh, later this year?
Yeah. Do you think that's even like possible? Or
No,
do you think it's just too much Metroid at that point?
I think that's too much Metroid. I feel like at the earliest it's like March next year. That would be my guess. It could be January next year. Like I think Q1 2024 makes sense.
One of the things about Fusion is that it just aesthetically, its color palette is really saturated, and I think it was because when it was released, it was on the original Game Boy Advance, which didn't have a backlit screen.
Yeah,
and so to kind of like make it more visible, I guess I'll say, on like the Game Boy Advance, the colors are really intense. And so I don't know that they actually like look as originally intended when you're playing it on modern hardware.
That makes sense, yeah.
But I love that like strong, vibrant, like it is.
Yes.
It's really unlike any other like Metroid game. But for whatever reason, I associate it with the Game Boy Advance so strongly that I'm really. It's been a very long time since I played Fusion, and I'm really excited to have the chance again.
There is a purple that appears on Samus's suit that is so ugly that I love it.
Also, I was seeing people post online. I think at this point you can now play all of the 2D Metroid games on Switch once this is released, except Zero Mission
and Samus Returns. You can play the original Game Boy Return of Samus, but they're different enough to be. Samus Returns almost has more in common with Dread than it does Return of Samus. So, there's still two big ones that I feel like are missing.
And I guess technically Zero Mission is just a remake, technically, of the original Metroid.
Right. So there's some, but those look. So you can play original 1 and original 2, but the remakes of 1 and the remake of 2 are so much better than the original games that like we need them.
They didn't announce Zero Mission.
They did
coming,
not.
Right? Yeah.
Well, this
feels inevitable. But...
It does feel inevitable. They didn't announce Zero Mission. They didn't announce the second Golden Sun game. They didn't announce. Oh, there was another one where it's like there's a pair of games and they only announced the first one. I can't think of what it is off the top of my head. But just Fire Emblem. They showed one of the Fire Emblem games, but not the other one. So just weird. Like I feel like they must be coming in just like another wave. But we're still waiting for like news about Donkey Kong 64 or Diddy Kong Racing. So who knows if these libraries will ever actually be complete.
Also on Thursday, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass Wave 4 is released.
What a day.
Yeah,
what's happening?
I know.
It's so much stuff.
You got Birdo and all the various colors of Birdo, which is that new? Have we seen Birdo in do Birdos exist in Mario outside of just like the pink Birdo usually?
That's a great question. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it either.
It's it's the Yoshis. So you can do this now in Mario Kart with the Yoshis and with the Shy Guys. And the Yoshis, that makes a lot of sense, right? Like Yoshis of various colors makes perfect sense. Shy Guys makes a little bit of sense, but only in the that's how enemies in video games work, where it's like, well, this one's a little bit harder. It needs to be a different color. But yeah, I can't I don't ever remember playing against a gray Birdo.
Right,
for
yeah,
example.
I don't either. But also, in addition to having a new character to play, Yoshi's Island is a brand new track that's included as part of Wave 4.
A brand new track!
Plus, Singapore Speedway, Bangkok Rush, and Amsterdam Drift from Mario Kart Tour are being added. DK Summit from Mario Kart Wii is being added to the game. Riverside Park from Mario Kart Super Circuit on the GBA. Mario Circuit from Mario Kart DS. And Waluigi Stadium from Mario Kart Double Dash, all being added in this wave.
So are there tracks from, because in the previous wave there were a lot that we were excited about. I don't know that there's any of course a DK Summit from Mario Kart Wii, but I don't know that I am personally excited about individual tracks returning in this one outside of DK Summit.
Yeah, DK Summit is the one that I would pull. I'm not familiar with any of the ones from Tour, and maybe when I play Riverside Park and Mario Circuit from DS or Waluigi Stadium that I'll remember them. But off the top of my head, I don't
can't
really recall
them.
the details.
I do think it's interesting that the tracks from Mario Kart Tour are this is 3 tracks, which has been sort of the standard, but the pattern before has been 2 based on cities and then 1 that's a fun silly one. These are 3 city ones, and I think traditionally the city ones have been sort of the ones that we're the coldest to, just because there's some conflict in our heads between this is a real world location and there are thwomps coming out of the Berlin Wall.
That really, yeah. That was challenging for me.
It's weird stuff. But we get over it and we have a good time racing karts. I'm interested to see what Singapore Speedway, Bangkok Rush, and Amsterdam Drift are like. But yeah, just weird to see so many of those city tracks making their way in on Wave 4.
And then finally on Thursday, Fatal Frame Mask of the Lunar Eclipse is released on Switch digitally. And this is a remake of the Wii game that was a Wii exclusive at the time, but is now being released multi-platform. So basically on all systems, including PC.
All right, Mark, let's close out the new releases. Which brings us to a regular segment on our show. It's time for 433. In 1952, American composer John Cage wrote a piece called 433, wherein a performer or group of performers didn't play their instruments for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. For the purposes of this show, our instruments are talking about Nintendo. So, for the duration of one performance of 433, Mark and I will talk about something not at all Nintendo related, thus fulfilling the contract of the piece. Mark, we went to Universal Studios last weekend. Just last weekend. 2 weeks ago? Doesn't matter, a while ago. And we did some Mario stuff that we can't talk about because this is not Nintendo related. But we also saw the Waterworld Stunt Show. And so you have posed a question here about the Waterworld Stunt Show. Please pose the question.
All right. So which character would you be / which stunts do you think you'd be able to do best? If you're in the park and somebody comes running out and they're like, we need your help.
Sure.
Somebody's sick. They can't make it.
Right.
We need you to participate in the show.
Now they need me to?
And you can pick any role you want to do that you think is based best on your skills. Which would you do? Because when I was a kid, I remember going to Universal Studios when we first moved to California, and they had a Wild West stunt show.
Sure.
And I being a stuntman just seemed so cool.
Yeah.
And, so much fun. And so do you ever watch the Waterworld stunt show and be like, I think I could do that. I think I could fall into that pool from like 5 stories out?
I mean, absolutely not.
What? You're not like, I could ride that jet ski?
No. Okay. First of all, so they ride jet skis around in
Uh-huh.
this thing, and it's a big pool of water,
But it's
like,
a pool of water.
But it's a pool of water. So it's ultimately not that big, and they're doing like hairpin turns on these things. And like, I've played Wave Race 64. I know how much those waves are going to mess up how you're driving around. So no, that seems like magic to me. Any of the stunts that involve driving a boat or driving a jet ski, I will not be able to do.
Okay, so you would not be the mariner.
That is source. No, could not be the mariner. No, I can't be the star of this show.
Even if they needed you to? Wow.
Yeah, especially if they needed me to. Here's the thing. At the end of the show, they're like, they announce everyone who like played a part, and like give like just brief credits, like from this show and this show, and everyone has the most impressive credits you've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
Right? People are on like Rescue 911, or not Rescue 911, just 911 is the name of the show, or
like that Star Wars Skeleton Key show that hasn't come out yet.
Our Helen was from Skeleton Crew.
Skeleton Crew.
Which, like, these are real deal stunt people, which leads me to believe that the only role that I would be able to play is one of the 3 clowns at the beginning.
But those people, okay, see, that's what I was thinking as well initially, because our like clown guy, on our side, so he, clowns around at the beginning,
right?
And then
it's the way the show starts is they sort of like taunt you, get the crowd ready and
Mm-hmm.
engaged, and like they do some little bits with each other. They spray water at the crowd, and so on.
And then he like climbs up to the top,
Yeah,
and pretends to be shot, and then like falls into the pool.
right. I could do that. I could fall into a pool.
I feel like I could fall into a pool, but then later he comes back and he switches like with the main. They do like a
oh no.
basically gets sets on fire.
Okay,
He
yeah,
gets
yeah.
set on fire, and that I don't. Well, technically, I think I could do it,
Right.
but probably not successfully. Like
No,
not without like
that
dying.
But that's the stunt that ends. There are 2 show-stopping stunts in there, and one of them is really just a spectacle more than the stunt, where they like launch a seaplane over the wall. There's no one in it, so like it's fine. No one's really in any danger. But the other big show-stopping stunt is this guy falling from, I don't know, 40 feet on fire into a pool of water. Yeah, that there's no way I think
Yeah, so I guess
you could do.
the short of it is that both of us think we could fall into a pool if needed in an emergency.
Yeah, I think mostly what we could do is clown around with the audience and spray them with water. And I'm comfortable with that.
We could be pretty good at that.
All right, Mark, we were accompanied today by the Berliner Philharmoniker. Let's get into the news.
Friday is March 10th, which Nintendo celebrates as Mario Day.
Stylized capital M, capital A, capital R. Good so far. The number 1, the number 0.
Mm-hmm.
March 10th, Mario.
Yeah.
MA10.
So this year, there are a number of activities that are going on to commemorate the day. Nintendo's like whole thing, their whole like marketing thing this year is like, make every day a Mario Day, which is how they get around that a lot of this stuff is not actually happening on March 10th.
Right. Well, I mean, you remember the year of Luigi that lasted for 18 months. Like, it's Nintendo. They can't be like pinned down by dates.
No, they're like the wind.
It's true.
So one of the things they call out is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass Wave 4, which we just talked about, and which is suspect because it releases on March 9th. But again, you can't fault them because they're saying every day, live every day like it's a Mario Day.
That's right. And it also, those tracks will all be available on Mario Day.
That's true. That's
true. You feel dumb now, don't you?
But here's another way that you can make every day a Mario Day is they're releasing a new Nintendo Switch online, a new Nintendo Switch bundle that they're calling the Nintendo Switch Mario Choose One bundle. It's a Nintendo Switch system and not an OLED model, but just like the standard Nintendo Switch with red Joy-Con controllers, and then your choice of a free Mario game download plus stickers from the upcoming Super Mario Brothers movie. So you purchase the bundle and you can download either Super Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, or New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe. And the bundle again releases on Friday. and is $300. So basically, you're getting the game for free.
Which is pretty good. It also means that you're getting those red Joy-Con, which had previously only been, they're like the Mario red, right? So it's a little bit different from like the electric red of the like red and blue Switch Joy-Con colors. Previously, this was only available with the it was like
Odyssey?
the Odyssey, and it wasn't even a bundle that had Odyssey with it. It was just like a Switch with like that had Mario Odyssey graphics on the outside of it.
Oh, okay.
But so yeah, it's a way for them to move those Joy-Con again, and then also like have one of these games as part of the cost of the Switch. And the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle has been part of the like Nintendo Switch Black Friday deal for the last like 4 years. So they're just sort of formalizing that as part of like the Mario Day thing. But I mean, obviously, this is going to be available for like long after
Right.
this month. So like, they're so close to just being like, here's the pack-in game. It's just you get to choose which one is your pack-in game.
Yeah, and actually in Europe they're releasing a similar bundle, but it's just Odyssey. Like that's the only game available. You don't have options.
Yeah.
But we don't have a note in here, but Jake, maybe somebody posted in our Discord that they're re-releasing the Mario amiibo.
Yeah,
and so
it's not just the Mario amiibo; it's the Mario series amiibo.
Oh, okay.
That are being reissued and they're like available at all normal retailers. I guess they'd kind of fallen out of print, but like I don't know. I feel like the demand for them was always kind of low. That like you could go into a Best Buy today and see like a Peach amiibo sitting on the shelf.
Yeah, I guess totally. It just feels like that is just another marketing beat in, there's this new Mario bundle.
Mm-hmm.
They are definitely, and I know some of this is tied around like Mario Day, but they are definitely prepping for people's interest being piqued by this new
movie,
the new movie that's coming out in like a month. Like I think it's only 4 weeks away at this point. And so
yeah, less than a month. It comes a month from now. The movie will have been out for 2 days.
Yeah, so like I think you're right. Like maybe there's not necessarily a ton of demand for these, but having that press release that they're being re-released is just like another beat in drumming up excitement, getting people talking about Mario, all that kind of stuff. And this bundle, I think you're right, will be around long after this because they're anticipating people being interested in Mario stuff and wanting to pick up a Switch.
I guess also worth pointing out that all of those Mario series amiibo have functionality with both Super Mario Odyssey and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I don't think there's any amiibo functionality in New Super Mario Bros. U, but the other two for sure.
GameStop is also having some in-store Mario events on March 11th, which is Saturday, from noon to 4 p.m. Not every GameStop, so you can contact your local one if you're interested, but you'll be able to play games featuring Mario and friends like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, and more, and then receive free Mario-themed items while supplies last.
And again, this is March 11th, which is the day after Mario Day.
Yes, but as Nintendo says in their copy, you can continue making every day a Mario Day. And you continue to do so. They're holding 2 sales. So one is online on like the eShop that they are breaking up into 2 waves. So the first wave starts on March 10th at 12 a.m. Pacific time and goes through March 23rd at midnight Pacific time. It features deals on games and DLC, including Mario Party Superstars, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Yoshi's Crafted World, and Luigi's Mansion 3. And then the second wave runs from March 24th at midnight until April 7th at midnight Pacific time. And this sale will include Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Mario Odyssey, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Super Mario Maker 2, and Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury.
Okay, so this is the part where I scratch my head a little bit because that those are all like the Mario titles, right? The previous chunk, yeah, Mario Party is in there, but otherwise it's Donkey Kong, it's Yoshi, it's Luigi, right? But all these Mario games go on not deep sale, but it's like $20 off, right? 40 down from 60. But it ends April 7th, which is the Friday, the Wednesday after the movie is released. If they're trying to capture any of the like movie fervor or like people seeing it that first weekend, those sales are going to have just ended.
Which
Might
maybe
be
that's
the
what they're
point.
counting on.
Maybe that's the point.
Yeah, because they're hoping people be willing to pay full price for them. So that those are all digital that they broken up into 2 waves. But then there's also a retail sale from March 5th to March 11th, where you can save up to $20 off select games, including our old favorites: Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario Maker 2, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Mario Party Superstars, and more. And then also you can save $40 off of Mario Kart Live Home Circuit.
Mark, that's it. Let's do it. Let's
Mario Kart
let's
Live
each get
Home
Mario
Circuit?
Kart home circuit. I'll get the Luigi, you get the Mario, and let's race them against each other.
That could be fun. We could try it out.
We could try it out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then also in like their list of marketing beats, they have Super Nintendo World opening, which again, suspect because
Mhm.
it's been open for a while now.
Yes.
But you can win a trip to Super Nintendo World if you go to my.nintendo.com through April 25th. You can enter to win a trip for you and 3 guests to Universal Studios Hollywood to check out Super Nintendo World.
Some notes about the thing that you can win here. It is they fly you out from wherever you are in the United States, and they put you up in the hotel, like the Universal Hotel that's there. It's only one room. I was reading the fine print here, Mark. It's one room, sleeps 4, fine. And then 2 days general admission to the park. Not the early admission, which we talked about as being borderline necessary to experience some of the rides early in the day. And no power-up bands. So
Stingy,
you
wow.
still got to buy your own power-up bands.
Wow. Well, I mean, it's not a bad prize. But come on.
It's a good. It's still like they say, like cash value is still like $4,400 or something like
but
that.
throw in the extra 200.
Throw in the power-up bands.
So yeah, that is. Oh, also, sorry.
Throw in a full set of power-up bands. Give them 6 power-up bands.
Yeah, give them extra. Also, kids can join in on the Mario fun with activities and
Finally.
videos. Yeah, at Play Nintendo, which I had never heard of before because it is not at all targeted towards us. There's a Play Nintendo website and a Play Nintendo YouTube channel that has videos with do-it-yourself crafts, quizzes, gameplay, and other things featuring Mario and friends.
So the gameplay videos, I assume, right? We can't play Mario games on Play Nintendo?
That's right. That is right.
Okay, all right.
Also, on March 9th, so not related to any Mario Day festivities, Capcom is presenting a Capcom Spotlight, which will feature 26 minutes of information on games coming out this year.
Which exciting. Capcom has a big year coming up. It's not listed in the games that they're going to be covering, but I mean, Street Fighter 6 is coming out this year. I feel like between that and Resident Evil 4, which will be as part of this presentation, those are like 2 big Capcom tentpoles. Not Monster Hunter big, but like they're like stateside sort of the biggest properties that they have.
Yeah, totally. The Nintendo relevant parts of this are kind of thin, at least that we know of anyways. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, Ghost Trick, which I'm excited for, was in the last Nintendo Direct and is coming this summer, and then Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak.
Which it's kind of surprising to hear that there's like more coming from Sunbreak. We're not super plugged in to Monster Hunter, but I didn't realize that there was more of that expansion coming out.
Also, Metroid Prime Remastered seems to be selling really well, which warms my heart.
Warms my heart too.
It was the best-selling game on the European eShop for February 2023, ahead of new releases Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe and Octopath Traveler 2, plus like perennial bestsellers like Minecraft, Nintendo Switch Sports, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Stardew Valley. In the US, at least last I looked, it's been also like number 1 on the eShop, ahead of Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Plus, it was released physically just a couple of weeks ago, but apparently really difficult to get copies. It seems like Nintendo either wasn't able to ship or just did not expect the demand that there ended up being, but they have promised that they are going to continue to ship out copies. It's not like it's a limited thing.
Yeah, well, and even outside of the like the Nintendo specific eShop charts, um, I don't have the source in front of me, so I forgive me if I get it wrong. But I had read that it was like the second place best selling digital game this year so far, just behind Hogwarts Legacy. So like behind an IP like Harry Potter, which is available on all platforms. Um, here comes Metroid again. It's like in the air right now. Like the pump was primed 2 years ago with Dread, and we're like, okay, yeah, now we're like thinking about it. We're playing these games. They're slowly being added to virtual console libraries and whatnot, and then bam, here comes Prime Remastered, and now we're like, yes, we are a Metroid people. We believe in Samus Aran. Let us play these games.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. It's also crazy that it's been 2 years since Dread, because even though like
It'll be 2 years in October. I'm being dramatic, I guess.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
sure, but even that it's been so like over a year since Dread, because I don't feel like people, the word on everybody's lips is not Metroid Dread, and yet I feel like it hasn't like fully ever gone away in the conversation.
Yeah.
Like I really do feel like Metroid is having a moment, and I think Metroid Prime is really interesting in that like I am happy that it is doing well. I'm not that surprised though, because I think like as successful as Dread has been, those kind of like I think the fact that it's in 3D is a huge selling point. Like it said that it's like a 3D game.
Absolutely.
Is a huge selling point. Like there is something.
It's like a reverse Mario, right?
Yeah.
Like the Mario gets more popular the more 2D it is, even though we love the 3D games. And Metroid becomes more popular the more 3D it is, even though we also love the 2D games.
Yeah. So yeah, it just feels like the like Metroid Prime formula is more like has a broader
I agree. Broader appeal.
A broader appeal. That's the word. Yeah.
Well, and I mean, I also just like if you think about like where games were when like I love Super Metroid and I love Metroid 2 Return of Samus, but those are games that have a very 1993 or whatever aesthetic to them, that port strangely to the modern era in a way that a first person atmospheric shooter doesn't, right? That in the way that Metroid Prime sort of feels timeless. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that it would be more popular than the non-Prime series.
Yeah.
The name on everybody's lips is gonna be Metroid.
In a video on Q Games' YouTube channel, Star Fox director Dylan Cuthbert shared some memories around the 30th anniversary of the game's release. He talked about the origin of the character names. The designs all come from Nintendo's Takaya Imamura, but Cuthbert said, quote, "And then they came to my desk, and I'm not sure why they came to me, but maybe they wanted good-sounding English names for these characters. And they had one name already decided, which was Falco Lombardi."
Which, first of all, we got to just throw the brakes on there because, like, I love that came from Nintendo Japan, that they were like, he's Italian. I don't know. We've had good luck with Italians before.
We don't know any of the other ones. But Falco Lombardi, we can all agree on.
Lock it in.
The other three, and this is Cuthbert again, and the other three, they were like, well, this is a fox, this is a hare, and this is a frog or a toad. And they said, well, what can we call it? And I looked at them, and I looked at the characters they'd drawn, these really nice little sketches, and I said, okay, well, I think Fox needs to have a cool sounding name, and he flies in a spacecraft, so McCloud sounds pretty good. Let's give him McCloud. And for the other two, I kind of looked at them and I just kind of laughed because the names just came into my mind, and I said, okay, we'll call this guy Slippy because he looks a bit slippery. And this guy looks old, but he looks like he's got lots of energy. Let's call him Peppy. And that's where the names came from, and they stuck. So it was a pretty fun moment in the development of the game.
Okay, so whatever you do when you're working on creative stuff, just take a swing. Like if you've got a character and you're like, I don't know, he feels like a Frank, call him Frank.
Call him Frank.
Who cares?
Yep. Maybe it'll stick. Maybe we'll get a oh man, what was Wolf's last name? It was like
Oh, O'Donnell.
O'Donnell.
Wolf O'Donnell.
Uh-huh.
And at some point you get a Grippy Toad as well. Slippy's Uncle Grippy.
Thanks to Anthons on our Discord for posting this one and bringing it to our attention.
Thanks.
Couple of stories, all under the sad header. The Wii U truly is dying.
Truly, we are. I kept wanting to say like reaching the end of an era, or that the Wii U is dying a slow death. No, this is evidence that the Wii has already been buried.
Yes,
is in the ground.
It's a sad day for the Wii U. Not really. It's
Make
just like
every day a sad day for the Wii U.
That's right. Nintendo Everything has aggregated some reports of individual Wii U owners experiencing some sort of memory issue after having the system turned off for a very long time. It's not clear how widespread the issue is, but the reports that do exist seem like it's terminal, like your Wii U is just shot.
Yeah.
Attempting a factory reset will reportedly brick the console, and Nintendo does not support repairing or like parts for the Wii U anymore. So
this is
like
the end of the road. Yeah.
There's some speculation that turning the console on regularly might circumvent the issue, but it's really hard to like test.
Right. Well, and it's also like, there are reports of it happening just like here and there on, Nintendo message boards and Reddit and stuff, that there's no like centralized location or like comprehensive reporting on how this is happening, or why this is happening, or to how many people it is happening, or truly whether it's really happening at all. But if it is happening at all, why would turning it on from time to time prevent this?
Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? So either if you've got your Wii U, make sure to turn it on, or don't, because we don't know if that'll help. If there is a problem.
Citing a security vulnerability, the Splatoon and Mario Kart 8 servers are being shut down indefinitely. Nintendo official word says that they are working on a fix, but there's no schedule for the servers returning online.
Which could also be that they never come back online.
They did do you remember a few months ago when it could have actually been like a year ago, that the Wii's online shop, like the ability to re-download games you previously purchased, like went offline, and Nintendo didn't really say anything about it, but they did eventually come back online again. So yeah, maybe we will see the Splatoon and Mario Kart 8 servers come back in the future,
But we're talking memory errors, and we're talking servers for two of the biggest online games going down indefinitely.
Finally, the Wii U and 3DS eShops will be closing down March 27th, which is only 20 days away at this point.
It's only 20 days away at this point. So it's also now, if maybe your Wii U is going to have a memory error, it's like, maybe don't download a bunch of games.
Or maybe this is the time to turn it on to maybe prevent that error a little bit longer.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But we might have talked about like the specific March 27th date before, but just one to keep in your mind if you were still planning to pick up a couple of Wii U or 3DS games from the eShops. Reminder that you can't like use credit cards directly to purchase anything anymore.
Right. You can use credit cards on your Switch if the accounts are linked, and then spend the money there, or you can add points using like a My Nintendo card. But yeah, no more. Actually, wait, can you still do with cards?
I honestly can't remember.
I said that, and then I was like, well, that might not be right anymore. But yeah, I mean that functionality is going away. I think we talked about this before, but Fire Emblem Fates is being pulled from this, or has already been pulled from the store, partially because you need to download, which version of it you're actually going to get before or by the time you reach chapter 6. So it's they're not hanging people out to dry who would just play the first 6 chapters and not be able to download the end of it. But that is a thing that's already off the eShop, so maybe it's too late for us to talk about it at this point.
But just a reminder that the 27th is the last day to make like a new purchase.
Yes.
But the store will continue to support re-downloading previously purchased games in into the future. We don't know exactly when.
Where are you on like, is there any more like panic buying that you intend to do on the you don't have a Wii U but on the 3DS?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I've pretty much, when it was originally announced, I think both of us kind of went in and started making some last pickups. So I don't think there's anything left on there. But I actually should go and just kind of like see
Just
if
do
there's
another
anything else
little
I want
shopping
to get.
spree.
Yeah, totally.
It is interesting. We recorded an episode like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, about things that we'll lose when the shops go away, and the fact that it's like we are getting to it now. Um, some of those things, like the solutions, have made themselves evident. Like the Nintendo Switch Online is actually doing a pretty great job of picking up a lot of the question marks that we had. The fact that like Fire Emblem is coming to the GBA Nintendo Switch Online, pretty cool. Metroid Fusion, pretty cool. And I'm hopeful that we'll see more of the Game Boy and GBA libraries in the next couple months. That will really set my mind at ease. But like Donkey Kong 94 is a Game Boy game that I was thinking about picking up on my 3DS, because if that's not preserved somewhere, I'm just gonna be so sad. But so we think we both have to do just like a little bit of shopping.
Yeah, I should probably just do one last check.
Just one last check. All right, Mark, let's get out of the news. All right, that is going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Patrick_Ellers. Mark is at MK Mitchell, and the show is at NinCart Society. We also have that Discord where you should really be, where we're having great conversations about Nintendo all the time. You could be having those conversations too. All you gotta do is email us at nintendocartridgesociety@gmail.com, and we will send you an invitation. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Eller saying thank you for listening.